Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up? Welcome to another American Truck Sim video. I am FTG Full Tilt Gaming, and today we are finally looking at the Colorado DLC. We got this Sunday, or I guess Saturday. I'm streaming, be able to stream there Sunday, so we got a nice live stream up. So you may have already seen that. If you haven't, I'll try to throw you a little box here up there if you want to go check out some more. We actually took a good section of this Durango to Montrose north through the $1 Million Highway. So if you guys want to go check that one out, please go do so. It's got a little bit more of the integral driving sections there that we did. I also saw Denver International Airport in that live stream. Today we're going to be taking a little bit of a detour out of Pueblo. We're going to go west on the 50 and then hit the 24 north, and then fly that over back into Denver. So we'll probably cut and go through a few different things of just showing you the best, at least good sections here of Colorado, what I feel like kind of overly encapsulates the entire map. So real quick here, right off the start, let me talk just a little bit, and then I'll try to keep some driving down as we look through some of the scenery as we're going through this, and we'll kind of talk through some things. But I do want to tell you guys a little bit here, because I know a lot of guys want to know, hey, is it any good? What's your overall kind of, what's your synopsis here? As I've dev consoled all over this map, I've looked at all the different cities, I've looked at all the different roads, just all these different little just ins and outs of this. Now, one thing I'll say is that this DLC offers lots of roads, which is really, really, really nice. There's a lot of different connectors into the different states, which is why I think in our live stream, if you were there, I was talking about Wyoming being a very nice candidate for a new state. I know a lot of people want Texas, but necessarily what's going to go ahead and actually tie a lot more things together, I think will make a little bit more sense to have something like a Wyoming and even a Montana next, and then start on a Texas, Oklahoma, and then move your way north through Kansas and the Dakotas. So that's just kind of my overall feeling thought on that, just because it makes more sense to connect all three of these DLCs with one state rather than have one state that's just connected to one DLC. And that way all these roads are basically empty. You know what I mean? So anyway, just my opinions, nothing that no insider information, but you can see that comparatively, this state from a roads perspective really does dwarf pretty much everything else that we have. It's very comparable to Utah, but its closest counterpart would be Washington. Washington, if you think about it, has a lot of roads. Now, the state itself is not as big, but it's very close. But it's got a lot of the same things. It's got some of that coastal charm, but it's also got almost kind of that pre-mountainous area. You're kind of getting there. Idaho brings a little bit more of that in there. You've got a lot more of that that northern kind of spiky, I guess we'll call it a mountain range, but it's not officially the Colorado Rockies until you get on into Idaho a good bit, and then obviously when you break into Utah, Colorado, and go south, and the Rockies take a lot more of that. So the cool thing about Colorado is it really offers you two different places. You got all of your mountainous areas are all to the west of the state, and to the east of the state it is flat, and I mean it is flat as a pancake. It's got some nice scenery, but the first part of it that you're going to see today is kind of from that flat into the transition in the mountains, which is what I thought was really, really cool here to start on our first video here of the week. So with all that being said, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there really quick and tell you just comparatively what this DLC looks like to the other maps, and also kind of talk about what you're getting in the form of the actual map. So if you want to do the climbs, you're going to have tons of roads to do it. If you want to have some more of that kind of more flat area, you're going to have interstates to do that on as well. The interstates running north and south through Colorado are pretty quick. There's not any big surprises. I will say it seems to me that the exit ramps have greatly been enhanced by SES. You'll see these transitions here, which they've actually gotten very good at. all of these different, just coming out, like let's just take Denver for instance. Denver has got 3 separate sections where it is very nice interchanges in between the different interstates, which is a really nice thing to see. Obviously, you got your own ramps in the city, big gas stations, so our convoys are going to be really nice ending and starting here in Colorado. But you can already see how a lot of these things are really put together really nicely. So no complaints there at all. Definitely one of their more modern DLCs. You can tell that just the way it's made. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's start off here at Pueblo. We're going to put a pin here because I think I'm going to take you up to 24. It's a really pretty drive. We've got our Kenworth W900, and we're going to be taking off here. I think we're already ready. I think we got our home stores already. Make sure we're loaded. Yeah, we're loaded. All right, 46,000 pounds. I'll keep the windows up. We are in manual for those that care. I know there'll be somebody out there. You driving a stick? Yes. About the only thing I don't like, and this is not really SES's fault, it's just the fault of like Colorado cities being somewhat shaped like this. Like even in a go to a map view on an actual map, a lot of these cities are drawn out like a grid. I'm on the East Coast of North Carolina, so typically a lot of my stuff is set up. My hometown is set up totally different than the way it is here. So I always have to watch myself in thinking that everybody else is just like me. So the 50 is it's a nice 4-lane. It's got some sections there where it skinnies up into 2, but once you get through these cities, it's basically a straight shot through. But you'll find a lot of this, man. It's got a lot of rolling hills all the way through Colorado. Extremely nice. The thing I think that you'll notice as we get into the transition into the mountains, there is a lot of there's a lot of scale in Colorado, and I did a lot of talking about this in our first live stream on Sunday night. I did a lot of talking about just the overall scale of Colorado. And I don't mean just the way that it feels like it's, that it's really long, or the feeling that, wow, this is just so big, but it gives this spacious feel that I really have not experienced in ATS. Now, I've almost 3,000 hours now in ATS. So there's been a lot of hours just driving. A lot of that is streaming. A lot of that is setting up streams. It's doing a little bit of research, dev consoling over here, trialing this load, doing mod reviews for this stuff. And the thing that's always interesting is you get used to certain things, and then when all of a sudden those things are, they're in or around, I mean, it's kind of like, oh wow, I mean, it really feels different now that I'm not in the same area that I have been. So you'll notice as we come into this, the transition for coming down into Parkdale, the transition from that kind of flat, more eastern state feel to when the mountains first start surfacing. It has a scale that I'm not used to on ATS. I'm just going to level with you. You'll see that here, especially here, some really pretty stuff coming up. Kind of has a coloration that kind of feels like Arizona a little bit, close to Utah. Here, we get over here. They got some nice creek runs here where they've put some animated water and stuff over the rocks, which is a nice touch. Definitely doesn't have to. Mining is big in Colorado, so there you can tell there's a big mining presence here on this map, which I love it when SES brings something new to the table. I think a lot of us, remember like when Oregon came out, there was a lot of logging that was brought in that kind of was continued with Washington, and so now we're kind of looking at something else. So they've got North America Mining and Industrial Prior Equipment. I can't remember what it's NAMIC is their new business. which basically has everything and everything to do with mining. And so for those guys that like taking the heavy hauls and like taking the cool stuff up, this will be a good DLC for you guys. It's nice here running cliffside here. You've got the waterfalls right here, rapids coming over the rocks. So that's a nice touch, man. But you can kind of see, especially from the cab, it's a lot more apparent through the cab. You can really see how a lot of this area gets a total change. And then you'll find that as you drive through certain areas, you almost feel like you go into a new section of the map, a new section of, of whether it's transitional to mountains, whether or not you're still sitting in the more flat kind of plateau-y area, you know. I love these creekside runs here, man. This is a really nice touch, putting all the water and stuff, which I'm sure putting water in that close and having all of that stuff look like it does, it's not like you're passing over in a bridge. You can kind of get away with that. But when you put it right beside the road like that, you know all the guys are going to be looking at that, so you got to do that right. There are tons of rest areas now on this DLC. I love this because there's a lot of really cool screenshot areas that you guys will be able to take off the roads. I'm don't necessarily kid that much about it, but there will be tons of guys that'll hit up the Facebook groups and everybody else and be sharing some pretty awesome pics from all these different places. A lot of viewpoints added in. If you guys aren't familiar with that, 138 brought in the viewpoints along with Idaho. So they've got quite a few different areas, all their integral areas here of Utah. They want to, sorry, not Utah, but Colorado. They want to put some emphasis on. You'll find those by question marks on the map. So once you drive by those question marks, go ahead and unlock them and pull in there and check out your viewpoint. This is a good result here, I think, of the scaling that I'm talking about. You've got this kind of blurred out look here in the far out, but you can kind of see where the ranges are starting to get in the middle, right here I guess in the right center screen here. And you'll find that the more that you get into driving west in this, you'll find that becomes more apparent wherever you drive. And then as you get closer into those, of course the terrain changes drastically. All right, so we're gonna make one more turn here, make a right up 285. Road signs are all legit. Everything takes you where it did. I almost wish there was some way, and I've said this like for a long time. I don't know if SES is going to listen to this one, but I would love to be able to find a place and then know the roads that I need to take there exactly. Now, maybe some people know that just by general default, but almost like a map quest, like go north on 285, then hit 70 East or 76 East or whatever it is, to Denver International Airport. Follow the signs to Denver International Airport. Like almost like a hardcore mode that literally takes the GPS out of the equation. I think that would, honestly, I think that'd be pretty cool. But you'd have to like really make the road names for everything. You'd have to make it right. Which would be interesting to see if that would ever happen. I don't know if it would. Traffic's pretty slow in Colorado. I debated on even turning it on, to be honest with you. I love about just turning it off. But we left it on for good measure. Alright, so now we're on the 24. 284 splits off to the right there. Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna race him. Oh, he's gonna come over. Alright, there's a new trailer. So they do have a new trailer skin. Let's go ahead. Let's get by this guy because we'll want to go a little faster than 40. So there's their new North America Mines and Quarries. That's what it was, Mines and Quarries. So there's their new skins there for their new company. Alright, here we go. Now we're gonna start seeing some more pretty stuff. The rock work that they've done on this is gorgeous, and SCS has always really been done well. I thought Utah was really nice. I think Arizona kind of brings its first, little bits of that rocky type soil once you go north Arizona. I think you see that a lot more pronounced. Farmington area, and that leads you up into, I think up into Colorado here, south of Durango. Going east, of course, Utah brought a lot of that rock. So you can still see the same thing, but they've pulled in a couple different styles and a different kinds of rock area too. So you'll get these nice little bubbles of rock that kind of pop up here and there, and then once you finally get deep down into it, then you actually start seeing some stuff. But here's another prime example of the scaling. So you look out, we're talking about this in live stream. You look out over to the right, look out over to the left. There's a lot of stuff like ETS2 does this really well in some areas. Some areas it's scaled really nicely where you feel like you can see for a long ways, and it gives you a feeling of depthness in the map. But that you could just drive there if you wanted to. Obviously you can, but it does make you feel like you could. This one actually, for some part, they've scaled it in the right area, so they've scaled it where you're actually going to. So your viewpoint go looking forward is like really exponentially expanded, which is nice. A lot of places and a lot of things that we've had have been tight quarters. A lot of trees on the side to kind of keep you in the road, and not really to keep you gazing, because that takes a lot of extra hours and effort to do that. So I will say that is a big time A+ on this DLC, which is something I really like. I like challenging road. I'm not much of a coast-to-coast driver. I don't like to get on a straight interstate and just drive. I find that totally boring because I can do that in real life. But I can't get in a truck and drive in Colorado and drive challenging roads like this. I mean, I live in North Carolina. We have the mountains, but it's still like it's my area, so I don't really want to go back and drive my area. So driving interstate to me just feels like interstate because I live next to a lot of them. So when I see this, I'm like, yes, this is cool. That's why I liked Idaho. I liked Idaho and Utah both because they had a lot of challenging roads. So now you're actually starting to see some of your initial kind of climb areas. So now you're going to see a three-dimensional scale to the south of us. To north, you're going to see it down here, down in the bottoms of these bridges. I mean, absolutely just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous scenery the way they've done it. All the way in the bottoms was pretty. The rocks here are pretty. You can see what I'm talking about, the different texturing there on the rocks. Got a new viewpoint coming up, so we're bound to have to go over here and grab this one real quick. Yeah, there you go. And you can see that all the way down to the bottom, you've got that water that's just running around, and I mean, it's all animated. Let's go ahead and pull in here real quick. Oh, we're just shy. Come on. There we go. All right, so we're going to do that. I'm going to enter up here. There we go. So even you got the road that goes down south. Now you can't drive on that road down there. Hopefully, eventually you'll be able to. So you can see you got power lines running down there. You've got railroad tracks. You've got the water that's running down there, which is just really, really cool. Which to me is one of those things about Colorado. Which of course, Colorado River runs through pretty much everything and runs through the Grand Canyon. So you've got that feeding from everywhere. And if you've ever looked at the maps, looked at the pictures of Grand Canyon, a lot of people probably have, all the way up to the Hoover Dam. I mean, it just literally cuts through the entire mountain range, which is pretty cool. They kind of implement and kind of do the same exact thing for this one, which is really nice. And so hopefully you can kind of see there's a real spaciousness to the DLC that we just really haven't had, and I hate to keep harping on that, but I do think that's one of the best things that they've offered here. Because typically, I've only seen this in modded maps. There's nowhere that I can remember going into the original map that you can get this far away from your truck and see so much stuff. Our truck is right in the right there, center screen. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to actually model, that doesn't have anything to do with you actually driving on a road. All this water down here is animated. I mean, you've got these little companies down here with the pallets outside and the truck outside, and who knows what that little company is, but none the rate. I mean, it's cool to see. And you can see here, you've got these roads, and I don't know, how or why or what, but this road kind of goes forever. Even on the map, and you're like, man, it would be cool if that led to some store you could deliver some stuff in, maybe an update, maybe throw us a bone, put that in an update. Or even stuff like this, I don't know, the stuff is there. I'm like, dude, these would be really cool to pull in a little flatbed, deliver some stuff, and then have to pull up the dirt road back onto the, just little things like that. I'm looking at that going, man, I hope they do something with that. Whether or not they do, I have no idea, but it would still be cool. Yeah, it's one of those, yes, if you're listening. All right, let's see. That was a new trailer skin there. I did not catch the name of that one. There's trucks using low gear, so now you've kind of come up, at least a little bit there. You can see what I'm talking about again. Looking down here, south of our view right here, you've got that river is still snaking through here. You've got, either businesses or homes or other scenery that's loaded in down there. That's, so the level of detail, I'm feeling like the frames are great. Probably better than anything I've done in Washington. I mean, obviously, I've just capped mine at 60 because we stream at 60, so it's just easier to keep it all the same. One thing I'll say, and you just saw it right there, they've been putting some patchwork on the road in Utah, so you will have some places that actually have, some different road textures, not textures, but like bumps, bounces, patchwork in the road where they've re-asphalted a particular place, and then you'll actually have a little bump there, and we had one before right there. I meant to say that earlier, and I was like, I'll say it if we come to another one. If you look at any of the real drivers that drive Colorado, and they've done those little big rig drive with them, and they put a GoPro up in the window and they'll just sit there and drive. This is very reminiscent, like a lot of this style of switchbacks back and forth. They're not crazy, but it's just kind of like this, just sweeping turns back and forth. I'm like, this is very comfortable driving, and good gravy, man. It's the there you go, Eagle River. That's what's down there below us. So you Coloradians, Coloradonites, whatever they call y'all, Coloradans. Ain't it Coloradans? I think that's what they call y'all. Ooh, a little fast. All right, so we're going to be going up above this bridge here. So this is going to take us back up. We'll do a little bit more climbing out of here, and this will take us up to Fort Collins once we get up all the way up here. Get a little closer to this trailer right here and see what that is. I feel like that's a new It is. USBB. So that is a new company. I'm not sure which one it is. Like we're gonna have this little drag race here. So the other thing that I wanted, the reason why I did this round, probably somebody's going, why didn't you do the $1 billion highway? So this was really, I wanted to do this because it's getting a little dark on us. I wanted to do this because oh, there you go. It's US Beverages and Bottling. Nice. Got a new company here. So the other part about Colorado that's really nice, if you ever watch any videos and stuff about it, you do have the more scenic rocky routes and stuff, but you also have a lot of interstate style roads that literally feel like they cut right up the mountain. And one of the biggest things that I had comment wise since Sunday was, what's the scale and the climbs and stuff look like? And I tried to explain that, but I didn't really think I did a very good job explaining that. So I figured, you know what, let's just tell everybody. So this is, you know, I would put this on about a, I don't know, 5% grade. I wouldn't say it's close to 6 or 7, but I would say at least a 5%, maybe 6 if you're lucky. But pretty much on a 40-some thousand pound load, you can get away at 6th gear if you don't let up, and you basically keep it pedal to the metal the whole way there with 625. Got anything less, this is going to be a nice struggle, especially for you heavy hauler guys. If y'all like this stuff, then you're gonna like this. Oh, and we almost took. Oh, it's gonna let us go. We'll stop our momentum going up the hill here. This is a really nice climb, and probably going down the other side will result in you basically being able to ride your Jake brake the whole way down it. Which I know there's some guys that are dying to be able to do that. So this is good that we actually found this scalable feature here. And the only place that we have this really is in is in California. We have this one climb, and that's it. And it's short, so if you get a good running start, you can take off. Got some nice digital LED signs up here giving you some stuff. Hopefully it'd be nice if they change, but they don't. Here's a new viewpoint up here. I'll let you guys see that viewpoint. Y'all can check it out. You know, stop off here, hit your truck brake check, go ahead. And to me, this is one of the cooler areas. I'm so glad they did this. The Edwin C. Johnson Memorial Tunnel. Johnson Tunnel, 1979. Here we go. Because I knew someone wanted me to do that. Y'all are weird sometimes. Not as long as some of our ETS tunnels, but still nonetheless. Very cool. Very cool. I know our convoys don't do too well in tunnels. I don't know where those guys got their CDL, but it surely wasn't for my driving, so I can tell you that. Nice little sunset there behind us. Downhill grades, how are the brakes? Well, I hope they're pretty good. We'll find out. 5% grade, that's what that actually says, so I was not too far off. That's good. Alright, Steamboat Springs. And you can see, so I'm on my second level, so I'm not on the first level of the Jake brake setting in ATS. You got 3. Basically, you have off, second, and then third. You can tell because the Jake brake gets louder each time. Steamboat is really cool. We're gonna do that in some live stream action because that one's worth it. I think guys will really appreciate Steamboat. That's very, very, very nicely done. just got us a little nap. 6 in the morning. We head on out here, finish the rest of our trip here towards Loveland. Loveland. I had to say Loveland. That's how everyone in the South make fun of us for saying it like that. All right, follow him out. So yeah, one thing was nice entries into some of these cities have some very, very, very pretty entryways, bridges. Got these nice 4 columns up on this one. This trip, the reason I was telling you guys we'd do this and not some of the other ones is it's a really, really, really cool area because it's a really cool area because you do get to see so much of just the different styles of the DLC and what it has to offer. You know, talking, and I'll continue to talk about this, and that's just the scalability of this map. It just scales very nicely. They've set a lot of things in that 3-dimensional flow that really do make it look a lot larger than it really is. You know, they could line this road with a bunch of trees that impair your view, that you wouldn't be able to see to the right or left a lot. You know, they could put stuff at the front of it to kind of stop you from having to look past that. But they've really stacked a lot of things, and you can kind of see right here in front of us. It's another example of how they've layered 3 or 4 different imagery, drapery images that actually make it look a lot bigger than it really is, which I think, for me anyway, this is the mountains, and the one things the mountains do is puts you in a particular scale frame of thought, you know, frame of mind. If I were to use a, you know, archaic song cliche title. Man, so here's Fort Collins, the Taco Kingdom, better yet known as Taco Hell. Alright. 4 miles to our drop off. So Fort Collins is one of the better cities, I think, in the DLC. Obviously, Denver, Colorado Springs are great. I would say Steamboat Springs is really good. Fort Collins is really good. The rest of them sometimes I feel can be a drive-through, but that's not really the fault of, you know, it's not the fault of SCS on that one. It's just the way the cities are. But yeah, definitely through this initial part right here, it's really nice. Nice little city areas. Downtown's really nice. It's got a, you know, it's got a spacious feeling. There's Colorado State view. Very pretty, and that's you know, that's a really cool thing. The way they've done it. Colorado, I did not realize how much Colorado had in it. You know, Colorado's got a lot of crap in it. I mean, and a lot of different. It's a very diverse state. I didn't realize that Colorado had this home style feel through some of their smaller areas, but I didn't realize it had so much change from the perspective of elevation changes to mountain ranges to things being flat, because that, even though it's flat, it still brings a whole new challenge of how you model that and how you present it. So I can see why Colorado may have taken a little bit longer than the rest, not to mention the fact we just got a lot of roads in this one. A lot of roads and stuff in here. And still driving through the city as well. I mean, pretty nice that you've got 4-lane city driving, big stoplights, and you've got a decent amount of traffic, but not an overbearing amount of traffic. Nice medians with the trees and stuff. You know, the trees aren't all rammed up into the buildings, you know. Like sometimes it can be. Always makes it look cheap and not well done. Now, as far our initial, our initial review on this, you know, this is not my official. I'm gonna drive for the next 3, and I guess right before I'm gonna do an official like review. We're gonna showcase some areas. I'm just gonna, you know, have some clips already set up, and we're gonna do something really nice with that one to where you guys do get my full overall. What are the cons? What are some of the pros? And really kind of get a little bit more in depth, because some people. I get it in live streams all the time. They don't understand why we've got the DLC areas. Well, it's no different than the rest of them. Why should I buy it? And it's not really my job to tell you to buy it and convince you to buy it. Like that, I'm not paid by SCS to do that. And I'm not paid by anything. I mean, they give us these keys and stuff for one, to be able to be able to display, you know, some of this really good stuff, but also just to let you guys be able to see everything that's out here, be able to see this early, in hopes that you guys will want to do it. So we're nothing more than just a rolling live advertisement for the most part, but it's at least from me. I can't speak to the other tubers that get this and they gawk and gobble all over it, and you don't really know if they're being honest about it. From a guy that does this almost every day, will this be worth getting? Yes. If you want a little bit more in-depth review on what's the bad areas, what's the good areas, what's good things and bad things about each one, then I'll try to put something together Tuesday or Wednesday. And I think that will better encapsulate my, you know, my overall feeling on this DLC. But I can tell you, is what I see right now, I think this is going to be a really good one. And I would venture to say it's probably going to be one of the best DLCs so far that they do. And honestly, I really can't wait for Wyoming. I think Wyoming and Montana connected to this map, I think, is part of the excitement level for some of us ATS guys that have been doing this for quite a while, is really being able to string together some really nice trips and get to see a lot of country, you know, and get to see a lot of the scenery. And it's always good to be able to visit new scenery and get out of what you've been driving for a while, you know, because at some point, like, you know, at some point you're going to want to see something new, and then when you get tired of it, you can go back to Washington, you know. You go back to Utah, it's like, oh yeah, I've got somewhere I can actually go now. I got there for a while, man. I don't think I touched California or Arizona for a while, and I went in the other day and I was like, well, this is a little bit more simple, but hey, you know, it's somewhere different. So, kind of funny how that works. Let's see if they give this to us. Yeah, they do. All right, can't complain with that. There we go. We're a little late. We had to sleep. That's all right. All right, cool. Well, that is going to be it for me. I hope you guys really enjoy this. I have enjoyed doing this. It's a little odd, you know, feeling like I don't have that live chat to talk with, but it's a little bit more compartmentalized video, where I hope you guys saw some of the really good parts and the transitional parts of Colorado and how all that stuff kind of works together. So anyway, I hope you guys will consider going and giving me a subscribe here and hitting that bell. Make sure you get all the notifications here from when we do go live. Usually it is, you know, we're usually doing it from about Tuesday to Saturday. Convoys are always Fridays and Saturdays here on the channel. But as well, we're trying to do some ATS, mixing in a few other things here post DLC. So you guys will see a few different games. We'll still keep, you know, the main gist of what we do, still always going to be trucking for the next unforeseeable bit here, but we'll also be featuring a few more driving things in here as we go along. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and don't forget, join us in the live stream here. We'll be doing those every night this week leading up into the DLC here, leading up to the DLC on Thursday. This is going to drop there from SES Software. So thanks guys, appreciate it. We'll see you here in the next video.